Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be making a video about rebranding for the new year. I know it can get very exciting, kind of overwhelming, very stressful when it comes to the new year. A lot of people set very high goals. They're kind of hard on themselves, like, oh man, I really didn't do this well last year, and I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do it this upcoming year. So there are a lot of things that kind of swirl around when it comes to the new year, and I wanted to go ahead and go over some things that I wrote down for rebranding for the new year. So that's what this video is going to be about. If you want to grab a little pen, little paper, write some things down, you're more than welcome to. You can pause this video at any time. I have at least 10 things I want to go over with some examples. So the first thing I have down is to reflect. Now, when we're reflecting on 2025, we want to reflect on the things that went really well, the things that didn't go well, the things that I'm okay with leaving in the past. I tried it, didn't work out for me, or the things I'm like, I continue to do really well with this habit and I want to continue doing that in 2026. We don't just leave everything in 2025. We want to make sure we are reflecting on the things that went well and the things that didn't, so that we're not repeating bad habits into the new year and that sort of thing. So I wrote a few things down that were, for me, like, that went really well for 2025. I was very consistent with my working out, with my health and my eating. I feel like this year I actually locked in and actually did the thing of going either to the gym or working out at least 4 times a week. So I just created a little routine, like after work I would come home, work out, that sort of thing. And then you get into the routine and you're like, okay, well, that's just kind of what I have to do, and your body will thank you for it. Trust. Another thing that I was pretty consistent on was eating healthy. So I had a few health things that came up this year that kind of were like, you kind of have to eat healthy now. So that kind of helped motivate me. I'm like, okay, well, I actually have to eat healthy now. So that went really well. There were some other things that were part of like my hobbies, where the years in the past where I just have not, like, I'm too tired, I don't have time to do hobbies. This year I made sure I made time to do hobbies. I wanted to try all different kinds of things because hobbies are important to me, and I feel like it is not necessarily for everyone, and it doesn't have to be anything like super crazy where I'm like, I'm gonna go for a bike ride like 10 o'clock at night. Just something crazy. It doesn't have to be crazy. Like, I crocheted this year, I got into crafting, I did like diamond jewel kits, like the little diamond puzzles. Really fun, by the way. If you haven't tried that, give it a try. Some other things that I really, really liked was getting out more, getting out of my comfort zone, going out, trying new things, talking to new people. Because in the past, like, I just haven't been very motivated to do so. I've been nervous. I've got that social anxiety where I'm like, oh, I don't really want to talk to them, but I want to make friends. I want to try new things. Like, I joined a book club this year and I was so happy I did. Like, it was so fun. I loved the girls. Like, it was just a really great opportunity to have community with my community where I used to live. Some things I wrote down where I'm like, I'm leaving that in the past is some things like, oh, what was I gonna say? Self-talk is very important. Some things that I really want to leave in 2026 is negative self-talk. I have a really bad tendency to do that and be like, oh girl, you messed up, like, don't ever try that again, like, that was stupid of you. Just being kinder to yourself, because once you start talking down on yourself, it's really hard, because then you are internally like, oh, okay, well, I'm never going to do that again because I failed. Like, I'm going to try to leave that in 2026, and I do have another little bullet point for that. So we will get back into that. So some things that we can do when we want to reflect, and a little activity you can do, is obviously, yes, create vision boards. Like, they are great to just look at and be like able to visualize. I'm like, that is who I want to be. That is what I want to achieve, and that's what I want to try more of this year. So I think vision boards are great. You can either do it digitally, wow, digitally, or you can do it with, old magazines, put them on a poster board, frame it. Like we did that last year, and they were so cute. And I honestly loved waking up and being like, yeah, it's coming true. It's super great to see it and be like, yeah, that's actually happening. So that's really fun as well. So, what I have for number 2 is health and prioritizing your wellness and self care. So, obviously, that is on a lot of people's vision boards, and for rebranding, I think it's very important. So, this was another thing I forgot to mention in reflecting is last year I did not prioritize my self care. I did it in other ways where I was like, okay, like I'm doing self-care, I'm doing my little hobby, I'm doing this, which is great. But there were some things where I was like not prioritizing like a self-care night, a self-care day, taking that time to yourself to just kind of be with yourself and not just go, 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 go. Which may not work for everyone. For me personally, I do need a self-care day or I will burn out. From experience, so I know that. That one of the things I was going to say is that I really didn't prioritize my skincare. I didn't prioritize having like a nice body lotion. It was kind of just like all over the place, and I don't know. I didn't really prioritize that, and I used to when I was younger. I was all about skincare, face masks, all that stuff. I would make my sisters like have self-care nights with me. So, I really want to go into this year prioritizing, like having a skincare routine, always doing your skincare routine because, girl, there were times where I was like, why am I breaking out so bad? Hey, maybe because you didn't wash your face. So, that's kind of my fault. So some of the things I have is going to be eating and meal prepping. This may not work for everybody, but for my rebrand this year, I am going to meal prep. I'm going to eat clean. Obviously, there has to be balance. It cannot be just, I'm going to eat chicken and rice and greens, which there's nothing wrong with that, but there has to be balance. Like, I love a bag of chips. I love ice cream. I love pizza. I love a good little cocktail. Like, there has to be balance. It cannot all just be just clean eating all the time. Now be mindful, don't overindulge, but there has to be balance or you'll burn out. So that's important. Make sure to write that down. I wanted to make sure I meal prepped and had nourishing food for my body, for my husband, that sort of thing. Girls, I know some of y'all's sleep schedules are crazy. I'm not saying go to bed at 6 o'clock like Granny, but I'm saying like, let's not go to bed at 2 in the morning and wake up at 4. Okay, so prioritizing your sleep is very important. It is honestly when you get a good night's sleep, a solid 8 hours, you wake up, you're refreshed. Your body is refreshed, and it will thank you for that because you will be able to move forward with your other things for your self-care, for eating. Sleep is honestly everything. So make sure you're sleeping. Make sure you have a good sleep schedule. Start today. So that's what I have for number 2 is prioritizing your health and your wellness and your self-care. So make sure you're doing some self-care. So another thing that I have written down for number 3 is detoxing your life physically, digitally, and mentally. So a lot of things are under this category. I started with physically. I decluttered. I did a little bit of a spring clean before it was a spring clean. I went through all my stuff. I went through all my clothes. I got rid of things I'm like, this does not, or like no longer serves me. So I'm going to get rid of it. So when I say get rid of it, I don't mean just throw it in the trash. I mean, if it is something you can donate to your local shelter or food pantry, I would suggest doing that first before tossing it in the trash. Or donating, like clothes, goods to your local thrift store or women's shelter, whatever you can do. It would be better doing it that way. So, decluttering is going to be able to help your mind be like, okay, I'm organized. Everything is where it's supposed to be. This is what I use every day. It's really hard when there is fast fashion, overconsumption core, when you're constantly on TikTok and you're like, I need that. I need that. I'm going to buy it. And then it's not a trend like 2 weeks after. So it's very important to go through things and be like, ooh, that was the old me. I don't need that anymore. Gone. That sort of thing. Another thing I have down is digitally. So when I say that, I mean social media specifically. A lot of people like to follow influencers, celebrities, all these things that I've learned that I've deleted TikTok so many times because I felt the need to consume constantly. Or I'm looking at her and I'm like, why don't I look like her? Why don't I have her life? Why don't I look like I'm all put together? I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir, but like social media is only showing you or especially celebrities and influencers are specifically showing you like the best side of their life, which is great for them. It's how they make money, it's how they do their thing. But for you, if you're not in the headspace where you can be like, good for them, like I don't need that, I'm happy and content with my life, then it can be very like, I'm drowning. I'm drowning in what is wrong with me? Why can't I do that? Like it can be very toxic. So I would encourage to, if they are no longer helping you with your journey, or their content is not making you feel inspired to be the best self for you, showing up for yourself, I would encourage to unfollow them or at least block some of their content, or mute if you don't want to completely unfollow, especially if they're kind of toxic, messy. We don't need that in our upcoming year, especially when we're rebranding. We don't need that. We don't need to feel like we're in competition with people. So, and that goes with people that if it is not a relationship that you feel like is beneficial to you. When I say that, I don't mean like they don't serve me, I'm gonna unfollow them. That's not what I mean. I mean if there has been trauma, if there has been hurt feelings, if don't do it out of spite, but just do it for your own well-being. That sort of thing. Just being able to set those boundaries. Like, I don't need to follow this person that was mean to me or that is continuously mean to me. That friendship is no longer there. We're gonna go ahead and let it go and leave it in 2025. No spite, no anger, just trying to be your best self. Another thing I have down is mentally decluttering and detoxing mentally. And I told you we were going to come back to this. Self-talk. We're going to try to train ourselves to talk to ourselves kindly. You're not going to tell someone, oh, you're stupid, you can't do anything right, to a person. So don't do it to yourself. Be kind to yourself. When you start rewiring your brain to think kindly, like, okay, that didn't work out, but it's gonna be okay. And we tried, we did our best. We're going to move on from this and learn from this. When we start thinking like that, our perspective on life changes and our attitude towards life changes. So I want to encourage, when you are talking to yourself, make sure you pump the brakes, you talk to yourself kindly, and have a little bit of grace with yourself. This life is hard enough. We don't need to be constantly mean to ourselves. So, mentally declutter. Also, detox from unkind words. This one is number 4, is master your mindset. So I know that kind of goes into detoxing your life, kind of. What I have written down is your thoughts shape your reality. Be kind to yourself in the way you're speaking. So that kind of piggybacks off of what we just talked about. Release limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering, supporting belief. So, yeah, writing these things down, writing things that you're like, this is what I want to do and this is what I'm going to do. You have to have the mindset that I can do this and I will do this going into the new year. So what I have down for number 5 is creating hobbies and identifying new hobbies. So what I have is writing down a list of hobbies that you would like to do, that you just didn't have time to do, that you're like, I don't know if I would really like that. The great thing about hobbies is you do not have to continue them if they don't work out for you. You just try them. It's a great thing to just try new things, as you all know. So I have down, I want to do more painting this year. I want to further my education. And when I say that, I don't mean like I'm going to go back to school necessarily. Like I want to learn Spanish more or work on my Spanish. I want to be more educated in small things like listening to podcasts and just small things of this world. Like I just want to have a lot of different facts on hand. That's kind of something that I wanted. I love reading. I want to continue reading in 2026. And then I want to work on my social media content, my YouTube, my Instagram, my TikTok. So those are just kind of hobbies that I have set on my little planner. And hobbies do not have to be expensive. You can go to the thrift store to get yarn. There's a lot of different ways where you can get like upcycled materials where you can just kind of try it, and if it doesn't work out, you didn't spend a whole lot of money on it. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money on your hobbies. So keep that in mind. So deciding the theme of your new year rebrand is very important. So take time. And honestly, you don't have to limit yourself to just one word. It can be multiple. I know a lot of these kind of seem repetitive, but they're all just a tad different in their own way. So number 7, I have embrace your future self. So what I mean by that is to write down qualities about your future self and start embodying them daily. For an example, I put down, start telling yourself, I am the type of person who wakes up early and goes to the gym every day. So it doesn't have to be that. It can be like, I am the kind of person who treats myself kindly and takes time to have some self-care after a hard day's work. Like you want to embody the person you're going to be, not just be like, oh, I'm going to be that person. Start today. Start telling yourself, kind of fake it till you make it type thing, where you're like, I am that person. I do that. I'm going to do that. I'm doing it right now, So embracing your future self is very important for your rebrand. Like, I am the kind of person that drinks water every day. I am the kind of person who treats myself kindly. I am the kind of person who is going to fulfill my dreams, my goals, my career, that sort of thing. So that's what I have written down for number 7. Number 8, I have prioritize self-care and boundaries. Like I said, a lot of these are kind of like very similar, but a little bit different. Prioritizing your skincare, devotionals, reading, meditation, and alone time. I'm not going to dive super into that one just because we kind of talked about it already, but being able to have a self-care schedule is also really good because you're like, okay, Thursdays are my self-care night where I, take a break from the gym. Unless the gym is part of your self-care, then obviously go. But sometimes it's like, I just need a little bit of a break. I'm going to put on some calm music, cozy ambiance, your like ambient lighting, read your favorite book, listen to your favorite podcast, watch your favorite YouTuber, watch your favorite show. That even could be like eating your favorite food, a cozy meal. So if you can set aside time for yourself, it's a win. It honestly is a win, and it is a form of self-care. So prioritize your self-care this year is one of the biggest things I have for my rebrand, because it can be so hard. It really can, but we can do it, and we're going to do it because we are the kind of people who prioritize self-care. Another thing that I struggle with, and I meant to mention this, but I totally forgot, in 2026 is creating a financial budget. I am the kind of person that I'm like, kind of need that. I'm gonna buy it. We're not gonna be doing that this year. Impulsive spending, let me hear it from the back. We're not going to be doing that this year. We're going to be creating budgets. We're going to be financially responsible. We're going to be mindful with our spending, okay? That could be writing it down. That could be creating a budget list. I've seen some people go, we're like, this year, I'm only going to buy one thing for myself the entire year. And I'm like, you know what? That's a good goal. that's a really great goal. So honestly, whatever works for you and your financial means, just be more mindful. At least that's what I'm trying to do this year. Be more mindful with my spending. We are trying to save up for a house, so that is a good goal to have. Is to be like, we're saving for a house. We need to save. But obviously adjust it to what works for you. And number 10, I think, is absolutely my favorite bullet point that I have down, is to do a monthly reflect. It can be so easy to be like, oh my gosh, it's January already. Okay, it's January, like we just do the thing. We go to work, we, continue our everyday lives. We need to slow down in this upcoming year and do a monthly reflect. So, what I put down is to see what went well, what didn't go well. What are some habits that I'm like, okay, I noticed I started doing that again. We're not going to do that in the month of January. That sort of thing. It can be done differently, things that you liked. So, that is what I have for my 2026 rebrand. PSA, I'm not a professional. These can be altered. This is just mine personally. um it can look different for you, and that's great. It should be personalized. It should not just be like copy and paste type thing. So I'm excited to see what this upcoming year holds for me and for everyone else. And yeah,